The quick setup of the F103 Totalizer provides a user-friendly one-button access to the most commonly used settings. This saves time and makes commissioning an easy job. For more advanced settings, the full setup remains available. The following quick setup categories are available. Flowmeter setup, like signal type, measuring unit and K-factor of the installed flowmeter. Total indication, like measuring unit and decimals of the displayed totals. Flow rate indication, like measuring units and decimals of the displayed flow rate. Analog output setup, pulse output setup, Modbus communication setup. Note, in this example, we use the default volumetric flow measurement setting for the automatic unit conversion. Let's take a look at how this works. To enter the quick setup, simply press the Program button once. A welcome screen is shown. From this point on, you can navigate to the next menu item by pressing Select. You can use the Clear and Select buttons to navigate through the menu. Flowmeter setup. Quick Setup 1. Here you can set the flowmeter signal type, coil low, coil high, or isolated active pulse signal. Quick Setup 2. Here you can set the calibrated measuring unit for the flowmeter, cubic foot, liter, gallon, barrel, or cubic meter. Quick Setup 3. Here you can enter the K-factor for your flowmeter as provided by the flowmeter manufacturer. Total indication. Quick Setup 4. Here you can set the measuring unit for the displayed total, cubic foot, liter, gallon, barrel, or cubic meter. Quick Setup 5. Here you can set a total multiplication factor of 1000 to display the volume portion in multiples of 1000 units for displaying large volumes when the 7 shown digits are not sufficient enough. Quick Setup 6. Here you can set up to 3 decimals for the displayed total. Flow rate indication. Quick Setup 7. Here you can set the measuring unit for the displayed flow rate, cubic foot, liter, gallon, barrel, or cubic meter. Quick Setup 8. Here you can set the time measuring unit for the displayed flow rate, per second, per minute, per hour, or per day. Quick Setup 9. Here you can set up to 3 decimals for the displayed flow rate. Analog output setup. Quick Setup 10. Here you can enable or disable the analog output. Quick Setup 11. Here you can set the 0 point of the analog output. It is the set point of the flow rate at which the analog output should generate the minimum signal of 4 milliamps, which is in most application at no flow rate. Note, the flow rate settings of Quick Setup 7 to 9 are taken into account at this setting. Quick Setup 12. Here you can set the span of the analog output. It is the set point of the flow rate at which the analog output should generate the maximum signal of 20 milliamps. Note, the flow rate settings of Quick Setup 7 to 9 are taken into account at this setting. Pulse output setup. Quick Setup 13. Here you can enable or disable the scaled pulse output and make a selection out of 12 predefined frequencies. These frequencies relate to a certain pulse width on the output. For instance, a frequency of 10 Hz generates a pulse width of 50 milliseconds. A frequency of 500 Hz generates a pulse width of 1 millisecond. Quick Setup 14. Here you can set the amount of counted input pulses that generates 1 pulse on the scaled pulse output. For example, when you want 100 pulses per barrel, enter 0.01 barrel. This means 1 pulse every 0.01 barrel, which is the same as 100 pulses per barrel. Quick Setup 15. Here you can enable or disable the isolated solid-state output. When enabled, This output will follow the scaled output as set in Quick Setup 13 and 14. Please note, the solid-state output has a maximum frequency of 50 Hz. When using this output, set the pulse output frequency to 50 Hz or lower. To save battery life, it is advised to disable this output when it is not used. Modbus communication setup. Quick Setup 16. Here you can set the Modbus communication address of your device. The bus address can be set from 1 to 247. Quick Setup 17. Here you can set the communication speed or baud rate. This should match your Modbus master device. The following speeds can be selected: 1200, 2400, 4800, 9600, 9600 high power, 19200, 38400. Note, the speeds from 9600 high power and upwards are more power consuming. When battery powered, it is advised to set 9600 or lower. To leave the Quick Setup menu, return to the welcome screen and press the Clear key. Or you can press Prog for 3 seconds and return to Operator mode. The Quick Setup is enabled by default and can be disabled to prevent unauthorized access. To disable the Quick Setup, hold the Program button for 7 seconds to enter the Setup mode. Menu 1 Total appears. You can use the Prog, Clear and Select buttons to navigate through the menus. Use Prog to navigate to Menu 10 or 11 Others. Note, when the F103 is equipped with data logging, option ZL, Setup Menu 10 Others, is moved to Setup Menu 11. Use Select to go to Menu 10.6 or 11.6 Quick Setup. Press Prog to change this setting. Press Select to disable the Quick Setup. Press Prog to store this setting. The Quick Setup of the F103 provides easy configuration, saving you cost, time and hassle. The user-friendly F-Series is designed and developed with only one focus: your success counts.